This is the review for the Coverlay cover for the G37 coupe. This is the kind of quality you can expect from this company. Extremely poor quality on the finished product. It seems that the mold is decent quality, but the finished product quality is just absolutely horrendous. You can see that even with tape on it and pinching the corners to the edge, the door doesn't really meet on the top side, and there's lots of modeling and different kinds of just weird caricature modeling is what they call it, defects all over the part. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's not texturing, it's basically just poor work. Does that say, you see how it dips there and all this kind of just crazy. So basically I'm going to have to use this as a buck to recover it. I mean, just look at that terrible work. Would you want to drive around with that on your car? That's ridiculous. Anyway, that is the Coverlay cover for the G37, 2008 to 2013 G37. And I'm basically going to have to recover it with vinyl after I fill it with Bondo and patch it up. You can see the modeling and the broken part that was patched. It is a terrible patch. And you can see the lines in the modeling, and even here you can see very, very bad texturing. This is not texturing. This line here, you can see actually creates a dip, which has to be filled in with Bondo and redone. I mean, that is just terribly bad work. You can also see up here, there's a pinch in the paint where it's got like a dip. You see the texturing and modeling, and also how the bridge is actually uneven. It actually has a swale in it here, like a dip down and then it dips back up, and it's all bumpy here. All gonna have to be sanded down and redone. And you know, whatever, you see how it pinches there in the corner. The car does not have one of these airbag compartments, so why they did this I have no idea. Because the airbag can burst right through this in a minute if they just put an X in the center of it. But just terribly poor quality, and this is the Coverlay cover for the G37. Just quite horrendous quality. You can see the little band-aid there on the edge. And the extreme modeling and texturing that is occurring that's just abnormal. It's not normal texturing that you would expect. If you look closely, you can see a lot of heavy defects, modeling, and texturing that is just not acceptable quality. I don't know. I would be just embarrassed to sell such a product. And you can see the fit of the actual door cover is shallow in the center, even when the corners meet, and you know, has quite a gap that would just look horrendous. I mean, they expect a person to put this on their car as is. You can see the pinch and the modeling in this corner as well, and basically it's gonna have to be sanded down, filled with Bondo, and then basically, you know, redone. You can see there that it's got a swale in the actual bezel, like a already, you know, warped dashboard. So that's going to need to be filled and to be leveled out. So anyway, it looks like if you're going to buy the Coverlay dashboard for the G37, order a can of Bondo and some vinyl to cover it. We are now in the initial stages of repairing the Coverlay dash cover. First thing is to use super glue to seal up the door. I just used this, what is this, Gorilla Glue, super glue, precise gel. And I'm basically starting by sealing that up, but you can see there's a lot of deflection here from the door to the dash. So I'm gonna have to get some body filler and actually body work it. You can see here I added some glue there to kind of level out the ends to make sure that they're strong before I put them with body filler. On both ends that were broken, I've also sanded down all these silly marks. I guess they're going to try to consider that texturing, but it's not texturing. There's also a shallow spot here which I'll fill with body filler. And that's how we're going to start repairing our Coverlay dash cover. We're also going to have to use some body filler. I'm just going to use some padded dash filler. Basically go over this after I sand it, go over this and sand it again. And the same for this low spot here and this really weird modeling here. And also for the door here, it's going to be a big slab of that body filler on that. First we start by working the door. This door doesn't actually meet very well, so I'm just gluing it to the corners so that all the corners match, even though that this is very, very shallow and this is actually pretty good. This is actually a little shallow here and it's a little high here. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill it with super glue, right? I used the Gorilla Glue, super glue, and that's how I'll fill the initial crack. And then I'll go over it with body filler after that.